Well, hello, and welcome to the Points of Interest podcast. This is the most generic podcast on the internet. My name is Josh Hawks. I am the 303 Ninja, and right over there, he is my podcasting partner for life. He is the other guy. It's Mr. Francis, the gift giver Fernandez.
Well, I mean, I don't just do that randomly because there is a day that's happening tomorrow that is, someone is turning 25.
Yes.
Which is
somebody.
Quite a milestone. Yeah.
25.
I don't know who.
They can finally rent a car legally.
I was going to say they can rent a car here in California. You have to be 25 to be able to drive with a minor who has a permit.
Oh.
You cannot be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah, who has a permit.
Okay, I thought because otherwise it would be just kind of, teen mothers
parents
and
can't drive
teen
their
parents
kids
everywhere.
anywhere.
They'd be kind of fucked.
It's like, sorry kids, you have to walk everywhere. Sorry, I can't take you anywhere.
California and their wacky laws.
Yeah, if you're a kid, if you're 15 years old and you have yourself a permit, you cannot technically drive your friends home. You can only drive a person who is 25 years of age.
I mean, I think that's standard. I'm pretty sure
that's standard everywhere.
I'm pretty sure that is.
Like, I drove everyone home the moment I had my license. I was.
I mean, I did. Well, that's the thing. I mean, in 95, 96, when I got my license, there were no laws against 17, 18-year-olds driving with minors in the car. Or there was there was a curfew law that came into effect after I graduated high school. So if my brother or his friends were ever, out someplace, it was always like, all right, well, we got to, make sure we get them home before curfew hits. Otherwise, I don't know what happens. I never got busted for a curfew thing, and I was always out fairly late. When I was with my friends or the jeweler guy that we were working for. Some of those were late nights, but
it's where I get to tell, it's when I get to tell my first kiss story, because it happened when I was a young teen driving past midnight. Oh, it's 11 o'clock at night or something. So past whatever curfew would normally be out for teenagers. And the girl I was driving home after dropping off all my other friends off, convinces me to go to a park. She proceeds to kiss me with the most ashiest, smoke-filled mouth I've ever experienced. It was awful. She was an ashtray. It was awful.
Nice.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I'm like, oh, well, there you go. Great, thanks. And hello, Ginger. By the way, never said hello. By the way.
Oh yes, hello. I don't know what the hell are we talking about. Somebody was turning 25.
Oh,
yeah.
Someone's turning 25 tomorrow.
You can. I think you got. Don't you get a new license at 25?
Yes, you do. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I had to renew my license around 25. Get a new picture and everything.
And there's two things you can look forward to. Person turning 25.
Yeah.
And say goodbye to your parents' insurance.
That too, right? 25 is around the age when you don't have their medical insurance anymore to take care of you when you get sick. So there you go.
So all those kids in California that enter every fucking building that has a sign on it that says entering this building is probably going to give you cancer. Our research is found.
Hi, listeners made. Yeah, exactly. Right.
What is the deal? What is that, Francis? Seriously, why? I know, but why? I understand the letter grades on restaurants makes total sense, But why does every building in California tell you you're going to get cancer by going inside of it?
Well, they have to. They have not just buildings, but like everything you consume, anything. Like if it's a cleaner, if it's a book, if it's a movie, it'll say in the bottom has chemicals that may potentially
I
cause
mean,
cancer and or other diseases.
well,
It's like,
sure, yeah.
okay,
I mean,
everything can.
that's fairly
Yeah.
common practice on a lot of stuff. Like the group of kids that drink the Drano probably aren't going to grow up to have kids of their own.
I mean, there was for a second. Remember that the popularity of Tide Pods was a thing for like a second, where people were actually eating
That's true.
the dishwasher soap because they looked delicious or whatever. So it was a thing for a little while.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah, it was.
speaking of which,
Speaking of which, what?
I don't know. I
Okay.
was trying to transition into one of your topics, but I couldn't think of any that would actually work
Yeah,
with
yeah. That's why I was
Tide
like,
Pods.
what are you talking about? Well, no, okay. No, all right. Well, people that might need
Okay,
Tide
go ahead.
Pods. We're like the 70,000 plus people. I guess we're doing the podcast now. The 70,000 plus people
Yeah.
that were stuck at Drowning Pool. Wait, no, what's it called? Burning Man.
Burning Man. Yeah.
Drowning Pool's a band.
Have you? It's like the Fire Festival, but organized. You remember the Fire Festival? You
Organized,
remember that
yes.
thing?
No. What's the Fire
So
Festival?
the Fire Festival was a kind of Coachella-like concert that was in the like on an island, right? And a bunch of people were supposed to be there, like Kanye and like all of these big bands were supposed to show up. But then I think like a storm or something happened, and no one ended up going, and it was a big scam. Like the people who ran it just took the money and ran, and the people that went were stuck there for 4 days because you can only get there through like a boat or a helicopter. Or something. Like you can only get there's only like a couple of ways to get to this island.
This just happened, did it not?
Eight or 9 years ago. It was a while
Oh.
ago.
Something
Yeah,
similar like
it
this
was a few
just
years
happened
ago.
recently, where like the first day of a 3-day festival got canceled, and then by the third day,
Well,
people were literally trampling the fences down and just rushing into the festival.
oh,
I thought,
that
okay,
might have been Coachella. That might have been.
I don't know. I don't
but,
know what it was. Doesn't matter. Go on.
But yeah. So what ended up happening was the catering never happened. So everyone ended up like for 3 days, all they had was like pieces of bread with like bologna and cheese. And like that was the one meal they could have per day because they didn't have enough food to feed everyone for 3 days.
Nice.
So it was just one giant mess. Now, Burning Man, which I don't even know what the point of Burning Man is. Do you know what the point of Burning Man is? Like, what is it?
I mean, like
what is
20
this thing?
years, 25 years ago, I think it was, a place to go rave out in the desert and then burn some shit and then, be an artist with your, with your steampunk stuff in the desert. I don't know, because that's what it looked like to me, right? And then you have like massive orgies in tents and RVs, I guess, is what I figure that happens at all festivals. But like dusty orgies just doesn't do it for me. But anyway, now I think it's a bunch of yuppies. Are yuppies still a thing? I think it's a bunch of yuppies that are like weekend ravers, that used to rave in the 90s that are like CEOs of companies now that for some reason go out in a shitty RV and have dusty orgies with random people.
It is kind of like an elitist thing because you're gone for X number of days in the middle of the desert. You have to be able to afford like your own food, supplies, everything. Like you need to be able to just like be there for you because they're not going to have any facilities out there except for the giant wooden thing that you burn at the end of the festival, right? The literal Burning Man that you burn at the end. That's all you have. right? And yes, it's a bunch of artists and everyone's half naked, and it's just like that's what Burning Man is, from my understanding.
It's
I,
because everybody's
I
got a
had a
sunburn. That's why it's called Burning Man.
but but it's always yeah well, that too. But it's always someone like really well off who goes because you can't afford not to go. Okay, I think you can also buy the art there and stuff. Like it's whatever, but I don't know. Listener's Mate says, I thought Burning Man was made to celebrate alternative music and the living off of the grid lifestyle. As sort of, there is some music there, like there's some bands, but mostly it's art. Mostly it's an appreciation of art, apparently. I was telling Josh earlier that I had a coworker who went and got stuck. got stuck because
I mean,
of the storms.
I don't really mean to laugh, but it's fucking hilarious at the same time.
It is funny. I mean, they survived, right? Like nobody got hurt really.
Yeah,
Some people died. Some people died, and they kind of like the people that they interviewed there were like, yeah, some people died. It's like, yeah, people died. That's a big deal. But
I
they
mean,
didn't have showers.
It's a big
They
deal
didn't
to
have,
somebody,
like,
that's for sure.
people were rolling around in the mud. People were like, it was really gross. I'm like, oh, this looks really gross.
Yeah.
This whole thing looks gross.
I mean,
But,
what are the? I mean, like, what are the chances of a gigantic storm coming through in
July,
in
of all
flooding
time. Or August, I mean,
in flooding an old lake bed? Pretty slim. Probably why they chose that place. But then,
right.
like some storm from up north or something like that, all the water came crushing through Nevada and just, went right through Burning Man and wiped it all out.
If only this, they probably would survive if this was a international fiddlers festival.
I mean, who's to say? Who's not to say? Because two of us, we've never been. Who's not to say that they don't have some sort of fiddling contest there?
That's true. That's a good point. I do like the images from there because it is Mad Max looking, and it is like people with goggles on and minimal clothing, and they're just like, yeah, look at me, man. They're drunk and everything and high. Oh yeah, a lot of drugs.
Lots of drugs.
Like,
I mean, a lot of drugs is the only way you're going to get me to go out into a desert 200 and something odd miles away from civilization and just chill out and hang out for a week. I mean, the orgies might be fun, but except they'd be dusty orgies. So, no.
Okay, so it is okay. So it is in Nevada, Black Rock City.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they hold. That's I guess where they hold Burning Man. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't look. Good on them. Yeah, I mean, look. People. The vast majority survived. I've always wanted to go. In all honesty, I'm not that kind of person, but for some reason, Burning Man has always had a mystique that I'm just like, man, that'd be kind of fun to just experience, even just from like a distance.
You and a banana hammock with some spikes and suspenders and some goggles, maybe like some sort of like bandolier of dildos or something.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah,
I don't know.
Without the bandolier.
I mean,
no.
It'd have to be a bandolier of something. Maybe a Swiss Army bandolier. You got a pocket for every situation. Yeah, you got a pocket for every situation.
So I get it. I get it. I get its appeal, and I've always wanted to just go. Just like it sounds like it'd be fun, just to experience and just to like record. Like, oh, this be fun.
Well, I mean, like EDC, which also takes place in Vegas, seemed like it'd be a lot of fun too.
In the city,
it's at the Las Vegas NASCAR track. It's like inside of it.
It's not in the middle of the desert.
Well, I mean, that's arguable that Nevada isn't, or any city within Nevada isn't in the middle of a desert.
Good point. Kind of hard to argue that one. Good point. I concede on that one.
Okay. But they do camping there. Or you can, get a hotel and get like a shuttle or something. And I'm like, yeah, it'd be fun to go. But I don't know about that whole camping at the fucking NASCAR track, never being able to get away from sensory overload.
Well, it's a festival, right?
Yeah, but it runs 24/7 for like a week.
Yeah.
So I'm saying if you're camping at the grounds, there's no way to get away from anything. Like I'd rather get a hotel room away from things so you can deactivate and shut down and recharge.
But that's not the point. You're supposed to be on 3 gallons of E, just dancing around.
Do people still take ecstasy, or are they people just taking the base part of the Molly, the MDMA part?
It's probably just the base part. Maybe it's just Maybe
I don't know.
Whatever it is, whatever it is that keeps them dancing and happy. Do they still have the candy bracelets and the candy necklaces because of their incessant need to chew on stuff?
I mean,
which is apparently a side effect of. Isn't that a side effect of or Molly or whatever?
Yeah,
you have to chew on some things.
I can't tell you from any sort of personal experience, Francis, but
right.
That's why you do see people with the pacifiers sometimes, or chewing gum.
That's right.
Because you got like a mouth thing going on sometimes. I like coke heads. They always got like the sniffles. Like they're always sniffling.
That's true. Yeah.
Right. Rum drunks are always humming when they talk, or like speed freaks always want to speed freaks always want to vacuum after the party, whatever.
Right. Yes.
It's the same. It's the same kind of thing. People at least on the ecstasy side of things, they got this mouth thing going on. I don't know.
Yes. Yeah. An oral fixation afterwards. That's true.
Yeah, you could say that. But this may not make sense. But so the other thing I was talking about also takes place in Vegas, EDC. What is not going to be taking place in Vegas anytime soon, or in LA? I don't know where it's held. It's
in LA.
God damn it. It used to be in Vegas. A long time ago it used to be in Vegas. But E3, the big video game convention that's been running since fucking the late 80s, I think. Definitely the early 90s.
Yeah.
When I was running a Game Force back in the day, I got free tickets to E3 all the time. Every year I was there.
Lucky.
They would send us envelopes of free tickets. But when you're working at Game Force for $8.25 an hour, you're not flying out to LA or Vegas to go hang out and play video games for a week, regardless of who you may or may not know that live out in the general vicinity out there. It ain't happening. So I never went.
Okay.
But I had tickets.
Yeah. E3 apparently started in 95, which is I feel like it should have been old. It's older than 95.
I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense why I was getting tickets, because they were like, please come to our event.
Yeah. Yeah.
Franchisee of this, thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It having never gone, there's always the want to be there. And in the late 90s, Francis, go to the Wikipedia page. In the late 90s, I want to say, they closed it off to the general public. And it was like invite only after that, I believe. Like you and me couldn't go unless we were in the industry. And it became like an industry only thing. I don't remember when that was. But then I think they opened it back up to the general public, and then that didn't last very long at all because life had moved on and gamers still wanted booth babes, and booth babes aren't a thing anymore. And
they're coming back. They're coming back.
All right, well,
maybe not
at least
exactly.
Jessica and Agree will have a job still.
Oh God, that's a name I haven't heard in years. Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, no, it's E3. I've always wanted to go, never been. Used to be, I guess it was in LA, pretty much forever. It was in like Atlanta for a couple of years, and then it was like in Santa Monica for a year.
All right, so it was never in Vegas. What the fuck do I know?
It was never Vegas.
I just say things, man.
That's all good. But yeah, now that studios know that they can, or not studios, but like manufacturers, Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, they know they can just do their own thing, and people will watch, and people will pay attention, and it's cheap. It's so cheap because all you do, you just do it online, and you do like a little showcase online, and then that's it. You do it for like an hour, and everyone's all excited, and they talk about it, and they're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this game is coming out."
But that's what they were. I mean, they were doing that at E3, and then once the internet age really started to take off, they started to, G4 live at E3. That was the thing that G4 fans looked forward to every year. Where on the set are they going to be? We don't even know what the floor looks like, in relation to anything, but what's the set going to look like? Where are they going to be? Who's going to be there? What, exclusive shit are we going to get if we sit and watch G4 all day long? And then they'd be like, all right, well, Todd Howard is getting ready to do the Bethesda thing showcased. And Peter Molyneux?
Yeah. For
is that right?
Yeah.
I pulled that out of my ass. Is getting ready to do the Xbox showcase before Peter something took over. Peter Sellers, Peter Miller. Xbox. He used to be the EA guy. Now he's an Xbox guy.
Okay. That I don't know.
I don't remember his name. But they would do that at E3, and then G4 would just do it, commercial free, and you get to see the whole 2-hour presentation.
Yeah.
And then in most recent years, yes, I forgot E3 was even a thing. Really, because Sony, Nintendo, Bethesda, Rockstar. Well, they don't do one, but
no.
I don't know. EA, they all did their little 2-3 hour showcases where they're like, here's all the shit that's coming out right now that you can start playing. Here's the stuff that's coming out soon. Here's the shit we're working on. Here's a bunch of pre-rendered stuff that'll look nothing like the game, but damn, it looks good right now.
Yeah. I mean, Peter Sellers from the Pink Panther. Yes. This was made.
What the fucking? What's the guy's name?
You crawl up there with his fedora. I don't know. Who,
spokesman.
Like the CEO of Xbox, I guess. Is that trying to?
I don't know.
Anyway, yeah. I mean, I never watched E3 either from G4.
Oh, really?
Even though, because it used to be, because they would talk about well, by then I was listening to podcasts. So the podcast would just talk about it, so I didn't have to watch anything. And they would talk about how just lines to get into demonstrations of games. So they just recently released the new Mortal Kombat 1 trailer, the latest trailer that has.
I'm so confused with Mortal Kombat. I fucking love the franchise. I think it holds a special place in my heart. But I stopped playing after 3 because
Well, yeah, sure.
it's I don't this the whole I don't want to get into it all, but
So Mortal Kombat 1 is a soft reboot. It's a soft reboot of Mortal Kombat. And they have,
it's a video game. Do we need a soft reboot of a video game?
Raiden is no longer the god of Earthrealm. It's Liu Kang. Liu Kang is the god of Earthrealm. And so he's the one who needs everybody. Anyway, they showed the trailer for Mortal Kombat 1 today, and I watched it, and it looks great. It's
I've been watching little videos of it. It looks really awesome, minus all the air juggling that's happening. But whatever,
I know they ever since I know they introduced combos, which makes me sad because they didn't used to be a combo fighter.
I mean, it was, but it not like it is now.
Not like
there wasn't. Yeah, there's not built-in combos. There was stuff that worked together. Yeah, Mortal Kombat 3. It shows you right on the damn arcade cabinet. If you do this, it's technically a combo of buttons to press, and it'll look really good. But there was a whole bunch of them in there if you searched around and played around. That's the whole point of Killer Instinct. Killer Instinct didn't tell you anything how to play that game. It was all about, hey, if you punch this guy here and then kick there, it gives you the opportunity to punch him in the gut here. It was kind of like boxing. You had to figure out.
Yeah.
And then, the combo system took over after that. But
it did. Yeah.
Mortal Kombat originally, up until 3, up until 4, I'm sorry. Up until 4, 4 had built-in combos, and it was all 3D, and then air juggling became a thing, and I would stop playing.
But it's still a very popular franchise.
Super
number
popular.
one.
Jean-Claude Van Damme's in it. That's how popular it is.
That was what I was going to mention. Yeah, that's like my favorite new thing is Jean-Claude Van Damme is in there.
People have been wanting him.
I think.
Yeah, it's him. And I think he did the mocap as well.
Well, he was supposed to be the original Johnny Cage.
Exactly.
Johnny Cage in the first one was based off of Jean-Claude.
Was based off of him. Yeah, and people have been wanting Van Damme in Mortal Kombat for 20 years. So it's awesome to finally get him in there, even though he peaked a long time ago, like he did on cocaine daily. He peaked a long time ago, though.
I mean, he still does this. He did that. It was a commercial for UPS or something. I don't remember what it was, but he did the splits from 2 semi trucks driving side by side. He did the splits at a Super Bowl commercial about 4 years ago. That's the last thing I saw him in.
There's a movie, JCVD, I think is what it's called.
Yes.
And people think he is the action star and he ends up having to be one or something I don't know. I don't know what that movie's on. It's some sort of cocaine, thing that he, some cocaine thing. What's the word I'm looking for? Binge that he went on and decided to write.
There's a movie called The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, which is the Nicolas Cage movie where he plays himself. That's what JCVD is. It's a parody of himself. It's him really making fun of him, which is good. I'm glad. Because nobody cares about Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Nobody cares.
Speaking of people that you don't care about anymore, I found this hilarious, and I didn't do the research because it just popped in my head. But apparently, Steven Seagal put out a fucking reggae album in either the early 90s or the early 2000s. I don't recall which.
Okay.
But he does the album in a fake reggae accent. And one of the songs that I heard, the first line out of this motherfucker's mouth in a fake Caribbean/Jamaican accent is "Me Wan the Punani." M-I, not M-E, M-I-W-A-N. However you spell Punani.
So I guess it's called Songs from the Crystal Cave.
Jesus Christ. When did it come out? Give me the date.
2004.
Oh my God. It would, you know what? I would have been okay with it if it was 1994 or even 1984. I would have been okay. 2004, come the fuck. This motherfucker thinks he's Russian, Native American. Apparently in 2004, he thought he was Jamaican or Caribbean. I don't know which.
Well, because he owns a house in Jamaica.
So that makes him fucking, that gives him the okay to do the fucking accent?
I don't know, man. Yeah, man.
Oh, man. I gotta find the album. I'm fucking giving it to everybody for Christmas.
I know. I want to listen to it now. Like, I need to hear this music.
I'm sure it's out there.
No, it is. There's YouTube videos of it.
Oh, wonderful.
But I'm going to have to... Yeah. Some of these songs are ridiculous. He didn't sing all of them, apparently. So some of them have other people in the album.
Yeah. All right,
but he sings a bunch of songs in the album.
All right. Well, you know, I had to be dramatic. Like I said, I didn't do the research either. All I'm saying is I heard a song. I had
to listen. Yeah.
It had his face on the album cover, I think, or at least his face holding a guitar, or some shit. Yep. Yeah. And yeah, it was him singing, and they put the fucking lyrics on the screen, and I went, no fucking way. Is that real? And
so the name of the song is Strut. So if anyone wants to listen to it, it's called Strut. And it someone posted it on Instagram saying just what you just said, Josh. It says, released a dance hall song called Strut, in which he sings in a fake Jamaican accent, and his first line, Ni Wanda Punani.
Maybe that's what I saw.
So I need to,
maybe that's the Instagram post I saw.
Yeah,
but yeah, I was like,
hilarious.
What in the fuck? Steven Seagal.
Well, he was a sheriff for a while in, oh God, I forget what, like Ohio or something. Like he was a sheriff for a little while.
But
you know, like Shaq was.
Lou Ferrigno
for a little while too.
Lou Ferrigno just got honorary sheriff, deputized. He got deputized in El Paso County here, which is like south of here. I actually don't know where the fuck El Paso County is, but part of the Colorado Springs Comic-Con PR thing I got that I never attended, the event or the con. But one of the emails was like, we're getting, they're going to deputize Lou Ferrigno. So if you interact with him, don't say anything. He doesn't know.
I mean, sure, why not? I don't know why Swiss and Bullets wrote sheriff in like big quotation marks.
I think that's Dink Dink. I think that's Dink Dink sheriff.
Yeah. But yeah, well, you know, he had a reality show like totally based on him, you know, stopping crime in wherever city he was at the time.
But so did Eric Estrada.
Well, Eric Estrada, okay.
Like he'd sell you a fucking timeshare and then he'd jump on his chip and fucking go help arrest somebody.
Yeah, him and a bunch of others. Yeah, because there was I think Wee Man from Jackass was also a sheriff in that reality show that he did.
Jokes. There's jokes there. There's tons of jokes there. We're moving on.
Jokes. Yeah, there's a lot. So
I mean, why would they give a badge to a fucking dude that has questionable drug past? You know, that's all I'm saying.
I listened to an interview that he did where he said apparently there is a town that is specifically made for little people because everything in this small town is shrunk for little people. Mm-hmm. And apparently this town exists in like California. Like this is a real town that exists. And I forget what it was called though. I wish I could remember the name of the town, but apparently it's a real town with
jokes
made specifically for
jokes.
Made specifically.
Not gonna make them jokes.
No. Yeah. Just if you could think of the joke in your head That's the one we're telling right now. That's the one we've just said it. We've just said that.
This is the one I've been biting my tongue on since you've been fucking talking about the story. Yeah. It's hot in here. Wee man.
Well, you know, he got hurt a lot, and there's someone else who likes to make a living getting hurt.
Yeah. Well,
but apparently not so much anymore.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't think he necessarily enjoy. Well, that's arguable. Yeah, I think it's arguable to say that wrestlers enjoy getting hurt.
No, but that was part of their job. Part of the job description was getting hurt.
That is true. So in the wrestling bit of the podcast, I guess, CM Punk, arguably one of the more popular wrestlers out there.
You need a stinger.
I had one.
Like a jingle for the.
I have one, but it's like I gotta make it shorter because it's like 45 seconds long.
Oh. Is it the It's Real to Me?
Yeah, yeah. That guy, I want to interview that guy. He's still alive and everything. But so let's take a step back. So about a year ago, after a pay-per-view, the promotion does a press scrum. They treat it as if it's a legit sport, like football, legit, dink dink, football, or tennis, whatever the fuck. So they have the owner of the company there, and they have wrestlers come out, and the wrestling media, dink dink, that report on a made up storyline thing, but whatever. They all sit in a room and they ask the questions, and the wrestlers cut promos, and a lot of them are a lot of fun, actually. And this one was as well, when CM Punk's sitting there, all bloody from the match that he was in, actually had a real injury, a triceps injury. He had separated his triceps.
Oh, no.
I didn't know it was a triceps, not a tricep. It's a triceps, apparently. Sounds like a dinosaur. Yeah. But he's sitting there cutting shooting. He was shooting on a group known as the Elite. It's their stable name, if you will. Yeah. And they also happen, three of those people in that stable happen to be the EVPs of the company. And CM Punk felt that the EVPs were leaking information out to the dirt sheets of the wrestling world out there, spreading rumors of this and this and this about CM Punk against this other wrestler that we're not going to get into. Anyway, he took a year off and also was suspended because there was a fight that happened right after the press conference. As he's sitting there eating a chocolate or blueberry muffin and having some bubbly, cutting promos and talking shit about a bunch of people, the word got round to the people that he was talking shit about, and they came to his dressing room and had a scuffle. But it was all word of, he said, she said sort of thing, eyewitness reports, but no cameras. Well, 2 weeks ago, at what has legitimately been the highest paid ticket wrestling event ever at 81,000 plus, happened in the UK.
Okay, all right.
There's a wrestler by the name of Jack Perry. Doesn't have really anything to do with it, but his father was Luke Perry, the actor, 90210.
Yeah.
Luke Perry.
Yeah.
So, I guess a few months ago, he's dead. Jack Perry wanted to do a spot that involved real glass, whether it be a windshield or a window or a glass table, I don't know. And CM Punk, being the leader of the locker room, was like, no, that's not safe. Find a way to gimmick it. And, there was some tension, I guess, between the two of them. So Jack Perry has a match prior to CM Punk's, and they bring out a London taxi because they were in London. And Jack Perry walks up to the windshield, slaps the windshield 3 or 4 times, looks dead into the camera with, the mic on the camera there, and says, "It's real." Did he say it's real fucking? No, he said it's real glass, cry me a river. And then got bumped through it. Now, he didn't put someone through the glass. He ended up going through the windshield. And it was real glass. Okay. You can tell.
God. Yeah.
So after the match, and I guess shortly before his match, CM Punk walked up to Jack Perry. They had words. And there's, it's all kind of hearsay because none of us wrestling fans were there. But some words were exchanged. Somebody, Jack pushed CM Punk. Punk, said, "Fuck you," and put him in a rear naked choke.
Oh, no. Okay.
And this was all happening in what's called the gorilla position, which is right before you see a wrestler come out behind an LED board or a curtain, or they rise up out of the floor or something. They're in what's called gorilla position, where the director of the show, the production people, the producers are all right there. So this is all happening right in front of Tony Khan, who's sitting at gorilla position. And apparently some monitors got knocked over into him or in his general vicinity. And there's also reports that CM Punk also lunged at Tony Khan and screaming that he quit. Well, they fired him.
Wow. Okay.
So the next week or two weeks later, they're in Chicago, CM Punk's hometown. They're getting ready to come on air. About an hour before they went on air, it blew up all over the wrestling Twitter and wrestling news that Tony Khan had fired CM Punk. And there was a PR statement he put out saying that, he didn't want to do this, yada, 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 but he had to. He feared for his life was the drawing thing that everybody took from. So then he had to go out into the a live Chicago crowd that was expecting to see CM Punk and just take it. He was standing at, everybody's seen a wrestling show. He's standing at the top of the stage trying to explain what's going on, and the whole crowd turned on him, and he had a chair there, and he just sat down and just ate shit for a minute. Yeah, I understand. I get it. Just go ahead and get it all out. I'll wait.
He's a beloved character, right?
People really like him because he's not Vince McMahon. He's not the other product. And he's likable. Whereas McMahon hasn't been since the 90s.
Right.
So it was a crazy couple days, and they had a pay-per-view as well. So I think they had 2 live shows and then a pay-per-view, all taking place in Chicago. Everybody was expecting CM Punk to be there, and he wasn't there. Now, some people in the locker room apparently love that he's not there now, and this and that. But
the starlight or the spotlight, I guess, right?
Exactly. I wasn't watching wrestling when CM Punk was a big thing, when he was a peak, when he was a main guy. I was off doing other things. I was aware of who he was. Being a huge UFC fan for as long as I was, I watched him in the UFC. It was just in the UFC, I think. I don't think he did any Pride. But I watched him lose in the UFC a couple, 3 times. I was like, oh, that sucks. And then when all the hype was him coming back to wrestling that it was possibly going to be AEW. And I was like, well, I'll jump on the bandwagon just because wrestling. Why not? And his return is probably the biggest pop, audience pop I've ever heard for someone returning or just in general. That crowd was and it was in Chicago, and it was all but, basically told to everybody that he was coming back. The worst kept secret sort of thing. But it was awesome. You go back and watch the video, and it would still give me chills to watch it just because it's like, holy shit, these people are excited. I'm excited just because wrestling, yay!
Residual excitement.
Yeah,
from everyone else being excited.
But in the course of a little over a year, the dude had a crazy roller coaster ride in the AEW, and there's already rumors of him going back to the WWE or, showing up someplace else. And I don't know. I mean, I'm a fan of the guy. I think the character is fucking cool, whatever. But clearly he has a past that follows him, and either a past that follows him or he is the prima donna everybody says that he is. And, if everybody finds it difficult to work with the guy, there's a reason for that. Who knows?
Okay. Yeah. Well, when you start cheering when the star is gone, I think there's obvious signs that, he was hard to work with. Great. Or again, I think it was just him hogging all of the spotlight, which makes sense. You always have that star.
I mean, Tony Khan gave him a whole show. The AEW puts on 3 shows a week, and the Saturday show that just started up 2 months ago was all based on CM Punk's shoulders. Like, they basically gave him everything but the actual booking book, as they call it, the book in wrestling.
Well,
like, he got to choose who was on that show, who wasn't on that show. Just to please him, and that wasn't enough apparently. I don't know. I'm whatever. I just want as long as there's good wrestling on TV, and that's all I care about.
Sure, yeah. I'm with you. I think.
I mean, I've made you watch a few things here and there.
You have. That's true. I have seen a few things. I've watched a few matches. I've been witness to a few things.
There's there'll be more. There'll be more. I'm sure there'll be. I gotta have you watch the Invisible Man match. That's one of the greatest things ever. 2 invisible men wrestling each other, and just a referee with special goggles that can see everything that's happening. It's amazing. It's fucking 10 minutes of amazing fucking art. Listener's Mate has a question. Here's a question. Does the Hollywood strike affect wrestling any? That is a wonderful question. That's a fucking great question. I'd step out onto a limb and say that the writers that they get for wrestling aren't part of the people,
the union.
Yeah,
and you are correct. The writers are not union writers. They do have writers though. Wrestling does have writers, but they're not union writers, so they are not affected by the writer's strike.
I mean, Freddie Prinze Jr. was a writer for WWE for a while.
I'm just, this is gonna, since it's been brought up, is this strike ever going to end? Like, this strike has been on for a while.
I mean, I said when it happened that this spring and next summer's TV and movies are going to be nothing but reruns. Like the A-Team.
So
The A-Team is fucking coming back to TV. I'll just say it now because there ain't going to be shit else to fucking put on.
So a lot of
This is how Alpha's going to get back on TV.
Well, because see, a lot of network television, they say they're gonna start They're gonna start showing shows that were originally just streaming. So a lot of like Disney Plus shows are going to ABC, and a lot of like, Peacock shows are going to NBC. Like, there's like, they're like, well, we don't have any original programming, so we're just gonna show stuff that you normally would have to pay for. We're just gonna give it to you for free. So have fun watching these shows for free. On network television. they're gonna anything else to give you.
They're gonna pull Tubi originals.
Two things are gonna happen. Yeah, they're gonna Tubi originals are gonna happen.
Tubi and Pluto are gonna become real networks.
They are real networks.
Well, yes, they are. They are. They like old shit like we do.
And then. Wow, that was that you was a poll. That's great that's such a callback to a joke that was said so many months ago. No, but like a lot of these places, they don't have anything to show. It's gonna be all reality TV again, like in 2008 or whatever. It's gonna be reality TV everywhere because those don't require writers. So
it's true.
Reality TV. It's going to be the new dawn of reality television. It's going to be more competitions. It's going to be more game shows. It's going to be more,
Howie Mandel's always going to have a job.
Well,
I love Howie. I love Howie. Don't take it wrong. I'm just saying, like.
Yeah.
If there's a game show,
he deserves the work that he gets.
If there's a game show that's coming out, he's like, I'll fucking do it. As long as they don't have to touch me, I'll do it.
It's either him or Wayne Brady. Wayne Brady and Howie Mandel are like the two. Like, we have to host every game show, and so they're the ones that host game shows. But that's what's going to happen. It's going to be game shows and reality TV, and that's all we're going to have for new media. Movies are going to be re-releases of old movies.
No, I'm okay with that.
Oh, they do? Oh, so Swiss and Bullet says reality TV uses union writers too. I guess that's true, but
because they have to write this. They have to write the situations to put the
Well, I went out on
island refugees into.
I went out on a couple dates with a woman who worked on The Bachelor. Mm-hmm. Because that's the kind of people you date in Los Angeles, or people who work on TV shows, because that's all you have. And
you should have been like, "Hey, I'm a bachelor."
What? Well, I mean, that's why I was.
You got a rose for me?
Oh God. So, I'm pretty sure she said that yes, maybe they do use union writers, but they still can produce shows, because they just can. I think they can still produce shows without those union writers, but I'm not sure. She was doing it. She knew the strike was happening, and she's like, well, the strike determines whether or not I work X number of weeks or I work longer. If the strike happens, she has to work longer because she has to work double the amount of shows. So I'm assuming they either recycle or they only use writers for very specific things, because she made it seem like reality TV was just a thing that she had to, I have to go and travel and do reality show stuff. But I don't know.
ABC reaches into the back of the Dick Van Dyke unused plot file. They're like, here, make this work.
Look, I barely found out that the Andy Griffith Show theme had lyrics, and I now listen to it on my Spotify with Andy Griffith himself singing the lyrics to the Andy Griffith Show. So,
like lyrics to his own TV show?
It's called The Fishing Hole, and it's, instead of whistling, it's just words to a song called The Fishing Hole, and it's good.
Is there whistling? Is there whistling part of it though? Like, it wouldn't be that song without some whistling.
Yeah, like some of the chorus, I think, had some whistling, but most of it's singing. Most of it is Andy Griffith singing.
It's kind of like when you hear that other verse to the fucking Fresh Prince, you're like, you're singing along, and there's this extra verse. You're like, wait a second, what the fuck is this? It's like, oh yeah, I haven't heard this since the premiere of the show.
That's right, because the first episode of Fresh Prince had the full song. Yeah,
and the pilot, and then after that, nope. Yeah, the fishing hole.
Well, you know,
here he comes in.
You're lucky if you. Yeah. Did you see it? Did you find the fishing hole?
No, Listener's Mate just came in with it.
Yeah, it's a good song. I like it. It's a really good song. Like I really enjoy it. Yeah, it is bluegrass, and yeah, it's very like, but it's so wholesome because it's Andy Griffith who has like this really kind of chipper way of talking, and he's singing, and it's just like, oh man, now I wish he had a song for Diagnosis Murder, which is the other show. Or what was the other one? Perry Mason.
Perry Mason.
He was like a detective, and
no.
Oh God, I can't remember what the other show was.
Nope. I don't know.
I don't remember. Anyway, either way.
Well, who might have
the old TV shows?
Who might have time to be at the old fishing hole, Francis?
Who?
I don't know what the dude's name is because I don't follow the foosball. But there is some quarterback that was everybody's excited to be on their team.
Okay. Aaron
Rodgers. Wasn't he part of Green Bay a long time ago?
I think so.
I don't watch football. I don't know. I want to say yes, but apparently he's part of one of the mini New York football teams.
I think he's a Jet.
He's a Jet? Okay.
Yeah.
So Buffalo? No. Yes. Right?
Yeah, Jets. Yeah. No. The Buffalo Bills?
Buffalo,
New York has a...
But don't the Jets and the Bills share the same stadium?
Yeah, I mean, look, you know, a lot of states that have multiple teams share stadiums.
Okay. Well,
yeah,
I guess so. I don't know what happened. He fucking blew his Achilles out, or he got some toe fungus, or like his panties are in a bunch, or something. But like, his 2023 NFL highlight reel.
It's one game.
It wasn't even barely, I think, one or two plays, but like him, because the game was yesterday, as we record, it was yesterday on 9/11. So he like ran out of the tunnel with the American flag. I think he ran longer with the flag, longer than he played the game.
So Swiss and Bullet says you can literally see the tear, and yes, it was 4 plays in, and he tore his Achilles tendon, which I know is pretty serious.
That is. I mean, I'm only poking fun because the fishing hole part, but like, yeah. I mean, I think it is kind of funny that.
Well, no. Like there's in history, there are a lot of athletes who got like injured. I think somebody got hurt like washing dishes, and their whole season was gone because they hurt themselves washing dishes or something like that.
I think there's
getting out of bed.
Yeah, I think there's a Bronco that was watching The Price is Right and then got up off the couch to get some fucking orange juice or something and broke his leg.
Yeah, like
I think that happened like 20 years ago. A lot of
athletes get hurt. Still, there's a lot of silly injuries, and this one was at least while playing the game. But I think he'll be all right. Aaron Rodgers is like, I'm pretty sure he's a big deal. I mean, I've heard he's a big enough deal that I know the name.
Right.
Like I don't. I mean, I normally don't know the names of quarterbacks.
Exactly. I mean, there's Brett Favre and John Elway and Joe Montana.
Oh, I'm glad you're picking retired. Football players.
I mean, what other fucking? I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you what the fucking Denver Broncos quarterback's name is.
I know that the Dolphins back in like the 90s was Dan Marino because of God. The Jim Carrey movie.
Ace Ventura.
What was the Jim Carrey? Ace Ventura, yeah.
I just watched that just like the other day.
Finkel is Einhorn.
Einhorn is Finkel. That's a great. And then
I mean,
there's a TV version of that movie, and there's like the movie of that version.
oh, how
There's
did they do the reveal of the TV version? Because the reveal is he tucked behind his his penis was in his butt, like in his butt because he tucked.
I don't know that part. I don't think I've ever watched Ace Ventura on TV, like with commercials and shit. But I know that there's a TV version because there's different scenes. Or there's like an extended scene with him in the pool right at the beginning of the movie where he's speaking into the fisheye lens. There's like a whole extended scene with that.
Oh.
I think there's an extended scene with him and the scientist guy fucking with the whalers. There's a TV version of Austin Powers.
See, but that one I think is a little more tame versus Ace Ventura. Ace Ventura had a lot of no, I guess not, because Austin Powers has a lot of sex in it, so maybe not. Even though my favorite Austin Powers scene would have to be when Tom Cruise played cameos as Austin Powers for the movie, for like the movie within a movie, which is great. I'm like, oh, Tom Cruise, you're insane, and yet you're here doing this movie. Good for you.
When Kenny Loggins doubled as Pee Wee Herman in his movie. It wasn't Kenny Loggins, but the guy looked like him.
Yeah.
P.W. Herman.
Pee Wee. So,
BJ
yeah.
Mr.
I don't know,
Herman.
I need to watch that movie again.
That's
though.
so good. Hey, speaking of random lines from shit, I threw a random line at one of my coworkers the other day, and he was working, and I just, it fit with whatever the hell I said. It doesn't matter now, but it fit with the conversation that we were talking. Oh, I said, okay, so my job is to make sure the people that do all the packaging have all the materials that they need. And we always have an abundance of materials. So I went by this guy, and I just said to him, "Want some more?" That's all I said to him. And I just kept talking about what we were talking about. The whole time, I could see it going through his memory Rolodex, going, "What the fuck is that from?" And he was just like, "Dude, stop talking. What was that thing you did? What was that from?" And I was like, "I'll give you another hint." I just tried to think of something else as random as I could about the Fifth Element as I could. But there's a robot waiter in the Fifth Element that's getting the priest guy drunk. And he just wants some more. Yeah, you multi-pass. Exactly. If I had said multi-pass, the guy would have got it right away. But I threw out something else that was random. And the guy was just and finally he was like, "Wait a second, I know this movie."
Yeah, but just like the quote that you decide to scream from Street Fighter 2. It's like, nobody knows that. Nobody but you and your friend know that quote. Nobody else knows that quote. If you said it the way you say it.
But that's what makes it awesome, though.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah.
That's what makes it awesome.
I guess that's what makes it such a good quote is that, it's something that only you guys would know. But geez, oh my God. When you said it, I'm like, oh man, that is so funny.
A commercial. What? Oh.
Gotta come in with a commercial.
Oh, yeah.
Commercial.
Chris Tucker's.
Oh, Ruby Rose. Ruby
something.
Ruby Rod.
Ruby Rod. Yeah. Commercial. That's a great movie.
Oh, man.
That dude wrote that movie when he was 15. Anyway.
Really?
Random.
It makes sense because it has the sexy female protagonist who gets naked a lot, and it has really weird scenes that don't really make sense unless you're a teenager, imagining things that totally make sense. It's not not a movie you take seriously.
No,
it's a great movie. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah, it's a great movie.
It's a fantastic film, but it's it is really really silly in the grand scheme of things.
It is. I don't know what else really to talk about because
I don't know, did you hit? Well, let's see.
we hit
Let me
most
look
of.
at the list of things that I tweeted about, and we can see. So I said, oh no, you missed out on the Halloween cereal, which is
Oh,
the only other thing that you
okay.
didn't mention.
We can talk about
We
it.
did Burning Man, CM Punk, E3. Now we can do cereal.
All right. Well, because it's a stupid little thing. It's like the little puff piece at the end of the newscast. You know, like, oh, and
Exactly. It's the puppies.
here's the thing with the puppies, and here's the fucking stranded whale that's in the harbor that we've named, you know, Strandy, and you know he did something cool today, even though he's stranded.
He was a beached whale.
Yeah.
Strandy the beached whale.
Yeah, so I'm standing in the self checkout, and you know it's that time of the year. You know, I don't know if Spooky September is officially a thing, but like my grocery stores had fucking Halloween decorations up since July 5th. So, you know, we'll just call it Spooky September. But while I'm standing in line, I look over, and there's my old friends that I never really got to try unless I was at friends' houses or until like became an older kid and could buy it on my own.
Do they have? I was going to say. Gotcha. Okay.
But there was Frankenberry, Booberry, and Count Chocula looking at me with their big new animated, you know, the new characters that have been quote unquote the new characters for probably 20 years, but whatever. And I'm like, oh yeah, those guys are back. I haven't had that in forever. I don't know if I can. Count Chocula is really the only one. I love me some Booberry. I love them all, but you know, Count Chocula is where it's at. But
Sure. It is.
I'm looking. I'm like, wait a second. There's a fourth box. Why is there a fourth box here? Ooh, and it's green. What the fuck? They've added a new character to the Halloween spooky cereal lineup. I'm not sure if I'm okay with this because they've never. You either take all three of them away. You don't add a new one, but they've added.
Not after so many years. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Carmella Creeper is now a thing, and what does that even mean? That's just a character's name. That's not even
it's Carmel.
That's not even a pun on a fucking thing. And the box is like pink or purple or some shit.
No, it's green.
It's green. Oh no, I said that.
Green.
It's green.
Yeah.
So is it caramel apple cereal?
It is.
Oh, what a fucking okay. That was a pull.
It is. I'm looking at it now. It's a zombie woman with headphones on called Carmella Creeper. It's caramel apple cereal. You are spot on about it being caramel apple.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean that was a
And then
that
you
was
can get
that was
the
a pull.
Monster Mash. So there's technically 4 cereals because there's also the Monster Mash remix, which combines all 4 cereals together into
Well, that
one.
would be 5. Because you got
5.
Booberry, Chocula, and Frankenberry. And now you got Carmella and her fucking apples that bring the boys to the yard.
Yes.
And
so this is the 5th box of cereal, and so they combine those 4 together into one cereal.
and they call it Monster Mash, but it's really called diabetes.
Yes, well, all of the cereals are called diabetes.
Sure.
They're all. Yeah.
I mean, unless you're fucking eating grape nuts and raisin bran and fucking plain ass shredded wheat, I guess, you know, it's all not good for you.
And apparently, there's 2 other characters that
What?
didn't get their own cereals, but they can, called Fruit Brute.
Oh,
and
I remember
Yummy
Fruit
Mummy.
Brute. I do remember Fruit Brute.
Yeah.
And what was the other one?
Yummy Mummy.
I don't know what the fuck a
They
yummy
don't have their own cereals, but they're the other 2 characters.
I don't know
Yeah.
what the fuck a yummy mummy is. And there's nothing appealing about a fucking mummy. But Fruit Brute, I do remember Fruit Brute. But no, come on, that's no Frankenberry.
Well, Blueberry and Frankenberry are the same thing. They're just different colors.
Get the fuck out of here with your fucking same thing shit. They're clearly two different fucking characters.
Count Chocula and now this, Carmella Creeper are like the two unique, actually different cereals. I have to try these. I love it. I love that this is a thing. Oh man.
Let me ask you a question, Francis.
Sure.
When you were a kid, did you like you liked Bumblebee, the toy. Yeah?
I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of people had Bumblebee and they had Cliff Jumper. Same fucking toy. We were talking about Street Fighter earlier.
I agree. They're at the same time.
Ken, Ryu, Akuma, all the same.
Well,
character.
no. Oh no! Don't you dare! No, Akuma is very different.
That is true. That is. I have Akuma tattooed on my body. I should have a little bit more respect for that.
Yeah, Akuma is definitely different from the others. Yeah,
but Frankenberry and Booberry is just a palette swap.
It is.
I love Starscream, Skywarp, and the other one that I'm Windbreaker. Fuck, I can't remember what the other guy's name is.
No, I don't remember. I know what you're talking about though. Yeah,
Skywarp, Thundercracker. F-15s. They're all the same exact toy, just 3 different colors. I can't tell you how many times I own all 3 of them in different forms, and it's all the same toy. It's great.
How did they combine? They should have been a combiner. I don't know why they didn't combine.
The one that everybody wanted them to be combiners that never was the Dinobots.
Yeah.
They wanted that to be a combiner so bad. Cool. There is a knockoff, like some sort of Asian knockoff that does have a Dinobot combiner. But I don't know how.
I was gonna say, is that called Voltron? Because then
Don't
Voltron. Voltron's a thing.
Voltron's the shit. I love Voltron.
It is.
Both versions.
Oh, yeah, no, me too.
I think Vehicle Voltron is cooler just because like the transformation into Vehicle Voltron took like half the show. Whereas, Lion Voltron, there's only 5 of them. You're the arm, I'm the legs, and I'm the head. Right? Vehicle Voltron was like, you 5 form a foot, then you 5 form a leg, and then you 5 form a foot, and then you 5 form a leg. And then 25 minutes later, it's like, and now I'm the head. It was great. 40.
I think the head was like 3 different.
35. It's 35 or 40 vehicles make up Vehicle Voltron.
It was 30 vehicles, yeah.
That's fucking awesome. You had like rescue bots in there, and you had like ambulance bots and plane bots and bus bots. It was awesome.
I owned that. I mean, I owned the Vehicle Voltron.
You
not
suck.
The individual cars. I owned the put together robot already.
Oh, okay. Well, you don't suck as much.
No.
My buddy has Vehicle Voltron, and I have been plotting for so long how to break into his house and steal it. No, I'm joking.
Oh, I love it. I'm looking at it now. I miss Vehicle Voltron. That looks so cool. I like all the vehicles in Vehicle Voltron actually.
And here's a cool tie-in to Transformers. Optimus Prime is one of the leaders in Vehicle Voltron. Like the Peter Cullen. And it's the same voice.
Oh, gotcha.
More or less. Yeah.
OP.
Vehicle Voltron. There you go.
Vehicle Voltron.
They should bring it back.
I love it.
They should have real Vehicle Voltron.
Well, they brought back Lion Voltron, so I don't know why they don't bring back Vehicle Voltron. They brought Lion Voltron back for Netflix. They did a reboot. Just bring back Vehicle
Didn't they do
Voltron.
it a couple times?
Who cares? It's going to be great. They did it a couple times, but I
Okay.
think the one
Because there's
that stuck was the
Voltron,
one
there's
for
Voltron Force, and then there's another one, right?
yeah, Voltron Force. Yeah. I'm sure. I don't remember what the other Voltrons are, but I know that Voltron has made a few iterations. Kind of like Thundercats. Has made a couple iterations.
I think on Tubi or Pluto, there is the updated Cartoon Network update. I think it's the Cartoon Network He-Man. That like the animated style He-Man in the Masters universe.
Okay.
I want to say it was a Cartoon Network one. I just saw it.
I mean,
listed.
there's a He-Man that Kevin Smith made. That's fairly new.
That was a Netflix.
That's what you're talking about.
I thought that was
That
a
was
Netflix.
You're right. That's true.
Yeah. Cartoon Network had one in like the mid 2000s.
Early 2000s. They
Yeah.
had one. Yeah.
Well, there you go. I don't have anything else to talk about. I made my phone. I made my phone MagSafe, or MagSafe.
Okay.
Well, that's cool. Now I can be like all the Apple people out there. And Francis got me this cool thing for the internet to make the internet better. So hopefully next week, the internet will be better, and there'll be there were no hiccups tonight, but like there's been so many. But hopefully it'll be even better. So
yeah. Well, we'll see.
I got nothing else to talk about. Tomorrow's my birthday.
Okay.
So
yes, it is. Happy birthday, Josh.
Thanks. You can all out there, fill my endorphins tomorrow with birthday wishes. Listeners, mate, nice topic. Probably not one we'll talk about really on here. I mean, there's nothing to talk about.
It's a heavy one.
It's a heavy one, and nothing to talk about.
I will admit the one thing I do find humorous is kind of just the mess that Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis found themselves in. I thought that was kind of humorous. It's just like, oh, okay.
Not to mention,
this is why you don't say anything. Just talk.
There's a couple other people from the show as well that have found themselves in a.
Well, people were lamenting Topher Grace like being great because he doesn't do anything anymore. He just kind of keeps to himself. So good on you, Topher. Even though I thought you were an awful Venom / Eddie Brock in Spider-Man 3. You were terrible.
There's nothing good about Spider-Man 3 except for when the credits started rolling because you knew it was the end. Sorry. So that's everything. Francis, where can people find you on the internet, or possibly even tomorrow night on a live show? It's called Super Geeked Up.
SuperGeekedUp.com. We've had some great episodes. We had a Dragon Con episode last week, so check that out. Jeff and Marks got to talk about Dragon Con, and then you can follow me at AKA the other guy on whatever the social media platform is called, and Instagram.
I like that. That's what we should start calling it. I'm really upset that all the SpaceX launches are now only on the social media platform formerly known as Twitter. They're no longer casted on YouTube. I mean, they will be later. I'm sure somebody will put them up, but like all the launches are now on X. That's dumb. Anyway, you can find me at 303.
Trying to make that one-stop shop.
What? Oh,
the owner of that place, the one-stop shop.
Yeah.
But anyway, go on.
You can find me at 303_ninja on the Twitters, 303ninja on the Instagram. You can call us, text voicemail 314-764-7631. Look up POI Podcast for everything, and email us at thepoipodcast@gmail.com. I think I already said that. Whatever. POI Podcast. We're here every week. Mostly. Buy me stuff. It's my birthday. No, that's fucked up. Everybody have a great time. We'll see you next time. Bye.